Moto Morini 80th Anniversary. An incredible small company that won a place on the Olympus of motorcycling. Moto Morini holds a special place in motorcycling history. Founded in Bologna in 1937 by Alfonso Morini, born 1898, it created legendary bikes for road and racetrack. Morini was a self-made mechanical engineering genius who in the early years of the past century advanced the piston IC engine beyond its roots in the steam engine to become a high-performance energy converter. Morini created his first motorcycles in 1925, when hired by Mario Mazzetti, owner of one of the earliest Bologna-based motorcycle makes. In 1937 he created his own brand, producing utility three-wheelers that sold well. Production was ended in 1943 by US B-24 bombers. They also hit Ducati. Morini rebuilt his shop and in 1946 produced his first Moto Morini motorcycle, the two-stroke T125. Like so many post-war two-strokes, it was based on DKW's RT125. Soon he turned to the fast-advancing four-stroke technology, creating a 125cc production model from which in 1948 he evolved the 125 Competizione. Thus began the Moto Morini winning streak. The new mill was capable of 10.000 rpm, which in 1948 that was truly something from outer space. In 1952 a further honed version of that bike carried Emilio Mendogni to Morini's first 125 GP wins, in Italy and in Spain. High-performance solutions developed for the racers were promptly transferred to evolved production models, giving life to a 175cc single that remains a legend in its hottest version, the 175 Settebello. A short pushrod little monster that for years flattened all competition in the Italian Junior Championship. This was the bike on which Giacomo Agostini started his glorious motorcycle racing career. The apex of Moto Morini technology is represented by the fastest 250 single ever, the 250 by Bialbero, twin cam, designed by the same Alfonso Morini assisted by Dante Lambertini and Nerio Biavati. An incredible trio of geniuses that not only created a 38 horsepower 250cc single, but also harnessed it in a very competent chassis. This is the bike that in the hands of the legendary Tarquinio Provini came within 2 points of defeating Redman's Honda 4 in the 1963 GP Championship. Chief of the Racing Department, Dante Lambertini. Giacomo Agostini on a Moto Morini 250 GP. Giacomo Agostini on a Moto Morini 250 GP. Racing was getting expensive, so Morini could not renew the challenge with his superb single. Moto Morini gave life to a number of interesting models for the times, and indeed it was very successful on both the local and on the international market. Specifically conceived for the Italian market was an incredible 50cc four-stroke single that gave the 14-years-old kids the feeling of riding a real bike, not a moped. The success of the Moto Morini singles gained more momentum thanks to a refurbished 125cc, the Corsaro, offered in a number of variations. Among them the 125 Country, a sort of enduro model that evolved into the 125 Regularita, ISDT, that in its racing version won its class at the 1966 ISDT in Sweden. Moto Morini Camel 501 Enduro. Moto Morini Camel 501 Enduro. Alfonso Morini died in 1969 and his daughter Gabriella took the helm, assisted by her legendary chief accountant Mr. Marchetti. In 1970 Moto Morini hired one of the best Italian project engineers in the motorcycling domain, Franco Lambertini, no family ties with Dante Lambertini. Franco Lambertini designed what remains a most brilliant example of extremely competent engine design to achieve both solid performance and superb reliability while controlling production costs to make a twin-cylinder unit that challenged singles even in terms of price. Franco designed a 72 degrees V-twin featuring a simplified pushrod OHV with two parallel valves perpendicular to the head plane. To minimize machining operations, the head was simply machined flat, with a Heron-style combustion chamber and valve cutouts in the pistons themselves. Moto Morini 500 Turbo Drawing. Moto Morini 500 Turbo. For more equal access to cooling air, the cylinders were offset almost 2 inches. This was achieved by using the offset conrods of Fiat's 600/750cc4, the super cheap car that put Italians back on four wheels after World War II. Its rods were very strong and came at a low price. Lambertini made the Heron combustion chambers work beautifully, extracting specific outputs of 100 horsepower/liter or more from all the versions of his little twin, including the surprisingly fast 250 and brilliant 500 that powered the Moto Morini Camel 501 Enduro. To meet calls for more power, Lambertini experimented with a turbocharged 500 that was prototyped but not produced. Moto Morini 350 First Edition and a much leaner me in my Bates leathers. Moto Morini 60 degrees V-twin 720 prototype. Health problems forced Gabriella Morini in 1986 to sell her beloved firm to the then all-devouring Castigliani brothers, whose Cagiva Group had already acquired Ducati. Under Cagiva Group, Moto Morini cancelled all new projects, including an evolution of the original 350. Lambertini had redesigned its crankcase to become a 650cc 60 degrees V-twin with sock operation of 4 valves per cylinder. Given the marked cylinder offset, Lambertini used that extra width to insert a central flywheel with 2 crank pins staggered 60 degrees apart, giving perfect primary balance. Honda have built several such staggered pin engines, including the RS 750 Dirt Tracker. The cylinder offset produces some vibration from a rocking couple. The project proved sound, soon growing to 720cc, but the Castiglianes cancelled it anyway. Moto Morini 250 GP. In 1989, Franco Lambertini left for Piaggio, and 4 years later Moto Morini ceased all production. The Castiglianes made money on the deal by selling Morini's downtown Bologna premises for a fortune. In 1999, Moto Morini was resurrected thanks to the Berti family, as Motori Franco Morini. That firm was originally founded in 1957 by Alfonso Morini's nephew, Franco Morini, and at the time was run by Franco's son Maurizio. They designed and produced 50cc and 125cc two-stroke engines for the then very strong moped and mini enduro market. Franco Lambertini was immediately hired to design the present 1200cc V-twin, a very solid and adequately powerful engine that gave life to a vast family of models. Maybe too vast, given the times and the limited potential of the factory. When harder times hit around 2008, Maurizio Morini was unable to react and correctly adjust the marketing policy, and Moto Morini went bankrupt. 2 entrepreneurs from Milan, Ruggero Massimo Giannuzzi, and Sandro Capotosti, acquired the leftovers and around 2012 tried to restart production in the old premises in the outskirts of Bologna. It did not work, so they moved to much smaller premises in Trivolzio, in the flat land near Pavia. The exiled Moto Morini never took off, and in 2015 the two partners split and it looked like Moto Morini was lost forever. Moto Morini Corsaro 80th Anniversary Limited Edition. Headlights and carbon fiber mini fairing. Then Giannuzzi was able to attract a new investor to give life to a new partnership, Antgen Limited, from which Moto Morini received a new breath of life, enough to celebrate its 80th anniversary. The partly renewed management then updated the Corsaro 1200 to meet Euro 4 emissions. This allowed Moto Morini to show product at EICMA last November, unveiling the updated Corsaro 1200ZZ. Based on the Corsaro 1200ZZ is the 80th Anniversary Limited Edition, the most precious Moto Morini ever in terms of quality and tender loving care of execution. The engine remains unchanged along with the steel tubing trellis frame. Tank, seat, and racing-style cowl are handmade from aluminum sheet, while wheels, fenders, handlebar and related levers are all made in carbon fiber. Only 8 units will be manufactured and the lucky few will have the opportunity to have 80th anniversary course rows further customized. The look is strong and basically the latest Moto Morini Corsaro 1200 is a good bike, duly refined in its present edition, a solid platform on which to begin again. Happy anniversary to Moto Morini, the incredible small company that won a place on the Olympus of motorcycling thanks to the creativity of a few dedicated people. A young Giacomo Agostini on a Moto Morini 250 GP. Dante Lambertini, with cap, attends to the bike. Tarquinio Provini on a Moto Morini 250 GP. Moto Morini 250 GP. Moto Morini 350 Sport. Moto Morini 350 V-twin engine. Moto Morini 720 60° V-twin engine and frame. Moto Morini V-twin head and piston valve pockets are integral to the high turbulence Heron-type combustion chamber. 720 crankshaft machined but unfinished. Note, 60° splint crank throws for proper primary order balance. 750 piston featuring semi-Heron combustion chamber.